There has been a lot of confusion over the years in regards to the Twisting Nether, the Great Dark Beyond, and the specific relationship between them. Earlier in the days of the lore, such as in the Last Guardian novel, the two terms were used more or less interchangeably, or even in the opposite role, basically saying that the Great Dark had the properties of the Twisting Nether, or vice versa. To talk about the two, we need to talk about the origins of the universe itself. In the beginning, there was the light and there was the void, two polar opposite forces that resided in their own realms. The clash of the two energies would then give birth to the universe as we know it, known as the Great Dark Beyond, but it would also give birth to the Twisting Nether. So, the Great Dark Beyond is, in short, the universe as we would know it, outer space. The Twisting Nether, on the other hand, is composed of the most unstable energies of the clashing light and void, and is a realm filled with unstable and chaotic magic. Both the Great Dark Beyond and the Twisting Nether gave birth to life, again as a result of the energies of the light and the void. The most common form of life in the Great Dark Beyond were elementals, although soon mortal societies would appear, but perhaps the most notable life form to appear in the Great Dark were the Titans. The Twisting Nether, however, thanks to its chaotic energies, would be the birthplace of demons, creatures driven to cause chaos and wreak havoc by their very nature. Demons can only truly die in the Twisting Nether or in places suffused with fell magic, because that is their birthplace, that is where their soul truly resides. So, confusion over, right? This seems like a relatively straightforward explanation. Well, not quite, because there's two aspects that still need to be discussed. The first one is the moments and the places where the Twisting Nether and the Great Dark Beyond collide. It can be fairly difficult at times to ascertain where these collisions happen because, until very recently, like I mentioned, the two terms were used almost interchangeably even by Blizzard. Let's take a concrete example, Outland or Draenor. Draenor used to be just another planet residing in the Great Dark Beyond until the Horde happened. Now technically, places saturated with fell magic, as much of Draenor turned out, do follow some of the rules of the Twisting Nether, namely the demon dying thing, such as what happened to Argus. You can also see bits and pieces of Outland sky during the Hellfire Citadel raid, since it was a place where the fabric of reality wore thin, and was also a place coated in fell magic. So was Draenor, after the orcs were corrupted, part of the Twisting Nether? Most likely not, since other than the droughts in the Fell, there were very little signs that it somehow connected with the Nether. Then Beyond the Dark Portal happened. Ner'zhul reached into the Twisting Nether and opened a large amount of portals which shattered Draenor and turned into Outland. So is Outland part of the Twisting Nether? The answer is no, yes, maybe. Outland has a lot of the properties of the Twisting Nether, such as the weird time and space and the laws of physics not working properly, but that's not exactly the full story. Demons killed in Outland don't die permanently, at least so far as we know. In addition, there are several quest lines in Netherstorm, which, hey, judging by its very name of Netherstorm, is obviously very close to the Nether, right? Those questlines talk about how Kael'thas is siphoning magic from the Twisting Nether, and how if he would continue, the thin barrier between Outland and the Twisting Nether would be completely ripped and the world would explode or something. So Netherstorm is not exactly part of the Nether, but it's still incredibly close. It's pretty much dancing as close to the line as possible and sometimes crossing it. So in short, at least part of Outland is lying at the border of the Twisting Nether, although most likely it is not a full part of it, but is still in a very unstable position. The area which is closest is Netherstorm, while the areas which are farthest away are probably Zangarmarsh and Terakar Forest, namely for the smaller number of floating islands. Other than Outland, there are also other places where the Twisting Nether and the Great Dark Beyond collide, but few of those have appeared in game, so it's fairly hard to really see how the two planes interact with each other. I will say though that I have a personal theory that there may be multiple Great Dark Beyonds, multiple universes, but just one Twisting Nether, which would justify the Burning Legion of alternate Draenor being connected with our Burning Legion and so on. Now the second thing is the following line, which is almost always used to describe the Twisting Nether by Blizzard, but only manages to complicate things. Quote, "The Twisting Nether is the astral plane between, or which connects, depending on which source you read, worlds." So what does that mean exactly? Well, in short, it means that portal magic functions by tapping into a Twisting Nether. But the way it is said gives me this unintended mental image that the Twisting Nether is just a cloud on which all the planets are laid out and sort of binds them together. It also ties in with what I mentioned before, with the fact that the Great Dark Beyond and the Twisting Nether overlap at times. However, since we do know of that, what we do know of that connection can be vague and oftentimes contradictory, it's still very hard to really know what that line means, or why even you need to tap into Twisting Nether to use portal magic. The lore on portals is also really complicated, and it depends on the type of magic you use, so I will leave it as a topic for another time. So in conclusion, the Great Dark Beyond equals outer space, while the Twisting Nether equals weird magical space where the laws of physics don't always work normally or consistently. The two sometimes overlap, but it's hard to tell what happens when they do. That's pretty much in short it. Leave any thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you all later. Farewell.